Whoa.
So how are you, sir?
I feel like it's been forever.
It does feel like it's been forever.
Like forever. Where have you been all my week?
Here. Hiding in my house. Well, I take that back. We did take a, I don't know, I should say this. I don't guess my grandmother will be listening to the show because she's very afraid of the virus. And
well, you can get that through these podcasts.
Through podcasts, yeah. It's some kind of a weird Dark Mirror episode where you can hear a virus and it infects you.
Only I was able to convince my certain family members, I won't say who, that you could get like COVID via your phone. Like, if you go on Facebook, if you open up attachments in Messenger, whatever it's called, you could get COVID. It's a thing.
Now, if this person is below a certain age, I would imagine you don't have to convince them too much that they don't need to use Facebook. I think that's become sort of the old people network.
We will come back to your grandmother. I apologize for stepping all over your story again.
And my grandmother, thank you.
It will not be the last time. It's our parents' generation who ruined Facebook. I just want to put that out there for the record. It was fine.
Yeah.
Until about 2012.
And
and something happened. There was like an article in AARP magazine or Reader's Digest or something, and maybe a coupon. Maybe it involved a coupon. I feel like, by the way, I apologize in advance for segmenting our audience so early in the podcast life cycle, the way I just did. and
now you fall into categories.
I have definitely probably irritated a certain segment of our listeners, and I'm sorry, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, truth hurts, really.
If you are, I would say, I'm just going to be arbitrary here, and I'm going to say if you were born on or before July 1st,
bringing it down to the day,
1958.
Okay.
You shouldn't be on Facebook.
Yeah. You should probably put most electronics down at this point.
I don't know why I picked that date. It just felt right.
There's somebody you're thinking of, isn't there, that was born on that day? This person in particular. Knock it off.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. When's your birthday? September.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was September.
Anyway, your grandmother.
Yeah, she's very much like if you are not actually like sealing yourself in lead and dousing yourself in rubbing alcohol and whatnot, then you're probably not doing as much as you could be doing to keep the virus away from yourself. So to let her in on the fact that we took a road trip to Asheville this past weekend would probably be a very bad thing. And
so she doesn't know.
No, she does not, because then I would of course hear a lot of very worried things. And
what's her number?
It's 1-800.
Is she on Facebook?
Well, kind of. she was at one point, and that was kind of the funny part, is that every time I would post something, and out of absolute and total adoring love,
of course,
she would post a comment on everything that I posted that said, "Great, we love you," and regardless of what it was, like almost that you started to wonder if she actually read what you posted. But like, especially pictures, she was very, very prone to comment on pictures and just go, "Great," and there'd be like 15 exclamation points.
Always the same response, like
great, or looking good, or just "we love you," things like that. I mean, it's all very positive things. Don't get me wrong.
The voice that you've given to your grandmother, the inflection. She sounds kind of like Tony Tiger.
Well, she has that same sort of spirit.
Marcus, he is great.
Great. Yeah. And he's lightly frosted. But she, Tony the Tiger, who is also my grandmother.
I knew it.
Dang it. I wasn't supposed to say. But yeah, she's very positive, very, very loving, and it's all very sweet, but it's also sort of like if you post a whole album, she will like and comment on every single photo that you put up there. So you will open your phone and there's 93 Facebook notifications and they're all from your grandmother. And so you start to wonder,
Yeah.
I wonder what she has posted now.
Yeah.
But to your point, that's old people into Facebook, right?
They can't help themselves. It's not their fault. I mean, it's not.
It's true.
It's not
how they were raised.
I don't think it has anything to do with how they were raised.
That's what we blame everything on these days.
Not understanding the technology as well as the different social etiquette that exists online.
And the fact that every word that they type and post theoretically goes out to the entire planet.
Oh, it's right. Consumable potentially by the entire planet.
Right, exactly.
And that they cannot trust most of the information coming across Facebook. That Facebook really, unless you're having a personal conversation like you would on the telephone, like with somebody through Facebook, you have. Well, hold on. Let me stop myself. I was going to say you have to assume that they probably believed anything somebody says to them on the telephone too.
It's possible, but
like
there is that certain sort of veneration of the printed word.
No, but if like Aunt Brenda shares,
sure, like there's gossip and whatnot.
Well,
but I mean, like
if they
if they read it in the paper, that's unimpeachable. And now they see the printed word, and now that's they're applying the same thing.
You know what I missed? I missed the conversations my grandparents would have, particularly my grandmother's, that they would have around the obituaries.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you see so-and-so died? Oh, yeah. Did you see so-and-so died? Oh, yeah. So I had a boss, and I won't say who it was, but people who were listening, it's a good chance people who are listening who would know who I'm talking about actually wouldn't be listening anyways. So it doesn't. I had a boss, so I went to a funeral with him, and on our way out, we're getting in the car together, and he says to me, going to funerals kind of makes me happy. And I was like, it's like, I guess so. Because he was also 20, 30 years older than me. I said, I guess so. You win. You're still winning.
You're in the outstripping the field.
You're in the game. Sort of thing. But I feel like there's kind of that element to the discussions that would happen in our grandparents' generation. That to see so and so died. That kind of thing doesn't happen yet among my parents' generation. I think they're still at the point where it's a little too raw still. It's a little too early. Most people who are passing away at their age, it's still considered tragic. It's maybe 60 years ago it wasn't, but now they're too young. But I think maybe another 10 years, that'll be the time where they start saying, "Oh, did you see so and so?"
Well, I don't know. How old is your father?
My father is 72.
Yeah, see, mine's in his 70s too, and I don't know. That's got to be around the age where that sort of becomes. Because I don't think that my father is alive is as much a surprise to himself as it is to anyone else. And so I think he definitely is at the stage of reading the obituaries with a sense of satisfaction.
Well, as soon as you see your enemies posted in the paper, you're like,
that guy called me a jerk one time.
Well,
that's what you get, buddy.
I'm going to go pay him a visit.
63 years later, you die. That's what happens.
Boy, we really are off to uplifting start here.
Yeah,
on
it's
this
a tad
podcast.
macabre tonight.
This is good. This is really good. This is interesting.
So let's talk about.
I gave a lot of thought to and I don't want to go deep into this again, but I did give a lot of thought to our Starch Madness.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it's very repeatable.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. A decent amount of sort of evolution among the snack foods, and maybe new ones make it and old ones fall off.
And there can be categories, and we can even do it by region. Like you could have like a south versus north, or east versus west, or
And you can also sort of like, do we stipulate that the snacks involved in this year's Starch Madness are readily available this year? Like no discontinued snacks.
Well, that would make it difficult, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you would take a lot of trips to eBay or something.
Stockpile in I don't know how good discontinued snacks are going to be. No, I think it needs to be something that we're doing looking forward. But I think you need to explain the concept of Starch Madness for those who may not have listened to episode 7.
Well, those who don't know the concept of Starch Madness need to download episode 7 and listen to it.
Nice. You're so much better at this than me.
It's right there. You just back one up, download that. Like, stop now, go back, listen to that one, and then come back here. And then I'm not going to tell you where it is in the podcast, so you got to listen to the whole thing.
We'll wait. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll be right. We'll be here. Well, welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's. How was it? It was pretty good, right?
You're feeling kind of dumb now, aren't you, for going back and listening to that whole...
Yeah, we didn't tell you that was at the very end, did we?
Now you just...
Well,
now see, anybody who was clever enough thinking I just wait and I'm going to listen long enough for them to keep talking about it, they're going to tell me where it is.
Yeah, well... They deserve it. If they were that clever, they deserve it. Here's your token. Now go back and listen to it. It's at the end.
But I feel like it's something we actually need to put some time into, because look, we're talking about snacks. So even though I don't have a lot of time in my life to do things,
you got to make time.
Having a conversation about snacks and having a snack competition, that has to happen.
Yeah, I mean it's as much as I mildly regret saying the word cornucopia. I agree that something that since this is here, we probably need to give it its deference that it deserves.
You realize, I don't know whether this is some deep-seated neurosis or whether there's just some active muscle memory still in play from last week. But when you said cornucopia, I immediately thought of bugles again. I can't not think of them.
This is a weird Skinnerian response.
It's so weird. That's so weird. Okay. Well, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So stay tuned because we're going to have a shop. We'll come up with rules. We'll come up with a shopping list of sorts. We'll post something on the website. It'll be a whole thing. We'll give you advance notice to go out and purchase said snacks if you'd like to participate. Yeah. And I was thinking what we would do is you and I would have our own well, no, we need more than two because what if we disagree? Can't have a tie. Or maybe others would be the tiebreakers.
Yeah,
that's how it would work. So
what I was about to say is you and I vote on who wins this one, and then the people, the people, also vote.
Constitutional.
And their cumulative yay or nay, whatever wins out with them, breaks the tie. I think that's how we should do it.
I like it.
Of course, you guys need to follow the Facebook page because there's 7 people following it right now, and that ain't enough people.
I feel like they deserve something special.
They'll be the Founders Circle, like that Disney Plus thing.
Oh, that's so good. Maybe a special sticker or something.
Oh, can you control that? I've never had one of these pages.
No, you can't. But we could just make it known.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll give them a little thing to Photoshop onto their profile picture.
That's a
little
plan.
possum One of our possum from our logo.
That's good. I like it.
That's a possum, by the way. That's on our logo.
Oh, some people were wondering.
No, just in case.
Okay. So yeah, that's gonna
eventually he's gonna need a name, and I don't know what to name him. Yeah.
You know what else needs to be on the list?
What's that?
Andy Capp hot fries.
Oh wow, yeah. Are they still making those?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh wow, that's weird because they're not doing the Andy Capp comic strip anymore, are they?
Why would they stop doing? No, but why would they stop doing that?
Well, because well, I mean, I guess other mascots don't necessarily have something that they came from outside of the snack. Tony the Tiger, for instance, didn't come from the comic section of the newspaper. He was just Tony the Tiger, mascot for Frosted Flakes. But yeah. Andy Capp was specifically from the Andy Capp comic strip, and it's just kind of funny that they're still marketing his fries without the comic strip sort of backing it up.
I can get a big bag of Andy Capp's hot fries on Amazon for $15.84, which seems like a lot.
How much is? I mean, like what's the size there?
It's gotta be a gazillion. Like for $15,
$15, yeah, that's a lot.
You better get a pallet of hot fries,
or like it's like a dog food bag full of these hot fries.
I mean, it's not much. It's 8. Oh, it's an 8-pack. It's an 8-pack.
Yeah. Still, it's $15. That's got to be an 8-pack of dog food size.
8-pack. Oh, 8-pack, and each pack is 8 ounces. So
that's 64 ounces.
It's a good amount. It's a good amount.
I guess
25 cents per ounce. I actually don't know what the market rate, the appropriate market rate is for.
I haven't looked at the Dow Jones today.
Oh, did they report that kind of thing on?
Yeah. The Andy Capp's the ACAPP.
You're just making that up now.
Oh, you saw through me.
Like potato. So I'll give you an example. This is a not sponsoring us, but sponsoring Amazon. Pringles potato chip crisps.
Mm-hmm.
Crisps. This feels
crisps.
Pringles,
yeah, it's weird. They're not chips.
Pringles potato crisp chips. I can't even say it reading slowly.
They put both in there? Crisp chips?
Pringles potato crisps chips.
That's weird.
That's excessive.
Because I always assumed. Now I know that they call
those
chips
are 35 cents per ounce. So the Andy Capp hot fries
but
are actually
Pringles
a better
are
deal.
Pretty, as far as I'm
like
concerned,
premium
they're kind
snacks?
That's not like top tier maybe, but certainly, B level at least. But yeah, potato crisps, the Pringles, there's weird stuff going on with Pringles anyway, right? Because number one, they're calling them crisps, and I know that in the UK they call chips crisps anyway. But over here, which I believe Pringles originates from the United States, I believe, and I always kind of assumed that they were called crisps because there's some crazy magic going on with those things because they're able to make each one of them exactly the same shape. And something about that is unnatural.
Well, it's called a press.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just like the same. Like, I don't think that we're dealing with potatoes in their whole form.
They're not.
We're creating a potato mush.
I mean, have you ever seen a chicken nugget?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure it's more like a chicken nugget process.
It could be. They
take the meat and then they mush it all together into like some kind of form.
Right.
It's
right.
Still
which may be why they're so expensive per ounce, because there's this whole process. It's not just cutting, slicing potatoes thinly. There's this whole machine that cranks out this tube of deliciousness, and it's gonna command a bit more coin. But that's
have you ever visited?
I think that's why they're called crisps, though. That's my point, is that they're not chips, because chips may have some definition that says, all right, you slice a potato and the result is a chip. And if it's it was first a paste of some kind and then it became a chip-shaped object, then that's a crisp. You can't call it a chip, maybe.
You've really thought about this.
I have. I think about these things a lot. I spend a lot of time in the bathroom. No. And what else? When you accidentally leave your phone on the desk, well, you don't have much else to do in there, right? But
did you take like a bag of potato chips in with you? Like, I don't understand.
no, you just start thinking philosophical things,
Oh, you're not researching. You're actually
Crisps.
pontific. You're like,
I actually have a pantry in the bathroom, and it's
why is it? No one's ever done that. Like
kept snacks in the bathroom.
Somebody has.
But yeah, I was about to say I don't know that nobody's done that, but
or like has like a little beverage.
That's somebody's thing.
Like a little beverage. Like a cabinet.
A little hibachi in there.
You never know how long. Oh boy, really? This. How many more people can we offend tonight? That's what I want to know.
Well, like I said last time, the goal is to make sure no one listens to this.
You may. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed your 7.
Yeah, that's going.
Facebook subscribers, because that's going to be your
4.
peak.
Oh, it's 2. Well,
so I once
me, so
I did once visit I think it was the Utz factory. The Utz
the what
potato
now?
chip. The Utz potato chip factory. Yes.
Okay, I don't.
You don't know
that
about
I'm familiar
Utz
with these guys
because it's a Pennsylvania
Northeast thing?
Mid-Atlantic thing. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. They're based in Pennsylvania and Hanover, and I would recommend anyone within driving distance of Hanover, Pennsylvania, should do the Utz factory tour when you can, because I don't know if they're doing them now. Because
probably not.
The COVID.
Now, do they do the thing where you get the free food at the end of the tour?
Yeah, they do.
Free Utz's?
Yeah.
Utz chips?
Yeah, free potato chips. Plus, they have this gift shop, of course, that has like all sorts of crazy potato chips.
Like
the best.
Like what's such as?
I don't remember. It was the best.
Like crazy good or like crazy like weird crazy esoteric like flavors. Like this is I don't know, meerkat flavored or something.
I don't remember any animal. Well, that's not true. They do have crab chips.
Oh, yum.
No, they taste phenomenal. Like Old Bay. It's basically Old Bay seasoning, which is delicious.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I thought they tasted like Old Bay, and I was like, that's not good.
Yeah, crab chip, potato chips. You got to look it up. You can buy them online.
This is UT what, S or Z?
UTZ. Silly.
That's why I'm silly. Okay.
UTS. Sounds like something you have to see a doctor. They have so many good things. I'm sorry. Now I've gone down the snack hole.
Uh-oh.
I gotta you gotta pull me out, man.
If they want to sponsor the show, let's.
It's really.
We're open to that.
Oh, we're so not worthy of them at this point. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking now because it's.
Not with that attitude.
So, I was walking through my neighborhood today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. This is somehow going to lead to me being bad to the bone. That's right. How did you know?
As usual.
I was walking through my neighborhood, and how do I put this without offending more people?
Wow.
Well, I can be a judgy person.
You
may have noticed I can be
a judgy person. No, I haven't noticed that at all.
It's not so much that I judge. It's not so much that I judge people as much as I have high expectations for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in them.
Yes.
I know that they can do it.
Right.
I anticipate and expect that they'll be thoughtful. I anticipate and expect that they will be looking out for themselves as well as those around them. Especially at least themselves. Like there's all these kinds of expectations I go into the world with, and then I come home disappointed,
crestfallen.
But I go back out again. You know, it's not like I like crawl into a hole or something.
You renew your optimism about
with the wood beast or something. Yeah.
So anyway, you're walking around who disappointed you today, Jason?
Well, it's a shorter list if I explain who did not. No. I want to talk about sidewalk etiquette.
Okay. Yes. Let's talk about this. I also have feelings on sidewalk etiquette. Because
this even creates arguments and stress fractures in my own marriage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You and your wife do not share the same philosophy with regards to sidewalk etiquette?
I believe that she believes that she shares the same philosophy. I don't believe that she either cares as much or that she can execute on it.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. We are walking down the sidewalk together.
Okay.
And there's another person coming at us on the same sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And they are maybe, I don't know, a block away.
Okay.
When do you go single file? That's what's in my head, right? That's the question.
Right,
when is the appropriate time to go single file so that the person doesn't have to step into the grass? And this may have been just kind of, I don't know, silly talk, not very serious conversation anytime before 2020, but after COVID, this stuff actually matters now, right?
It does, yeah.
Like I won't even. So I think this conversation, so that it becomes evergreen, this conversation has to basically not envision a COVID situation.
Right. Yeah.
Like this is
but I'm with
normal.
you that there is a period, there is a range within which you go single file, like you said. And I don't know. With me, it's about between 8 and 10 paces out, I would say.
See, at least you have a range.
Yeah.
It's not the correct
we get
range.
close enough. Because, I mean, like, if we went single file, if he's too far away, then that's a little weird. And that's kind of inconvenient to us if we're talking. And I'm always the one that fades back. And
puts the other person in front.
Whoever I'm with, go first.
Oh,
and
so what you have building here, what I'm noticing is that there's multiple dimensions to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you, it's interesting that you first said 8 to 10 paces. I'm not even sure how much. Like, is that like a stride? Is that like, I've always wondered a pace. Is that like, because it's different for each person. Like your pace is
true. Yeah. And that's more of it is kind of a feeling, but I would put it, I guess, around 10 paces away from the person.
So for me, it's kind of a feeling too.
One Hamilton, they call that.
But for me, the measure is, when would I have expected them to do it for me?
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So it's a sort of...
Which means I can't really expect anyone else to be inside my head, okay?
Right.
But what I have discovered over the years is that my sense of when somebody should move is much further away, much further out from when anybody else believes it should happen. There are some people who do it kind of at the same time that I do it.
Uh-huh.
There are some people who do it in the nick of time.
Right,
and then there
they kind of do the Indiana Jones hat under the door thing. And they're like, wow, you didn't even know that they were going to do it until they did it.
And then there's the people who don't do it at all. So the situation is, it presents itself where it's a problem in the marriage, is where I'm not getting cooperation from my partner. Like, one of us has to get out the way over. So what will happen is I'll slow down. I'll do the you thing where I'm being, and she'll slow down too.
Yeah. Oh, that's frustrating.
What are you doing? Don't you understand? Like,
wait a minute.
Get out of the way here.
You don't slow down with me.
I'm in a danger ahead. Like, what?
I'm with you, man. I'm totally there.
If I had only had to have this conversation one time,
We've been over this apparently.
It's every time.
Oh.
It's every time. Every time. And I don't understand. And I think sometimes I don't get the slow down reaction, but I still have to talk her through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm driving with my son with his learner's permit. Like, okay, now
right.
let's see how you do this
watch
turn.
out, coming up
I'm not
here,
gonna say anything this time. So I'm just gonna see how you do it, and then I'm gonna give you some notes later afterwards. But like,
I'm gonna stomp a hole in the bottom of the car here, trying to put on an imaginary brake pedal.
So there's that. I can tell you this, that my one of my best friends, Kim Speltz, who lives in Colorado.
Hi, Kim.
She's like the perfect walker with me.
Oh, yeah.
We went, we would go hiking when I lived in Colorado. I would go hiking when I didn't, because she would come visit. She just we were in sync.
Mm-hmm.
We get it.
Get that same philosophy about when this happens, and
I think so. I mean, I still may kind of, head over a little earlier or something, because that's just how I am. I'm very conscientious that way.
Mm-hmm. You're too good for the people.
I don't know. I don't see it
They
as too
don't
good.
deserve
I just feel like we'd all be better off if we decided to make it easier on the other person.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right? Okay.
With you.
Then you switch the situation around, and that's an entirely. I mean, it's similar, but it's also a different type of stress. So instead of it being this like stress between friends or spouses, it's now me against them.
Right. Yeah.
And
strangers.
Okay, here's the thing. If you get out and walk regularly in your neighborhood, they're not
a recurring character.
Sesame Street, right? These are the people in your neighborhood.
Right.
Right? They're the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that you see each day.
This will be the second time this has come up in this show.
That happened. They're characters.
Gordon
now.
is going to show up, and you got to decide whether or not you're going to make a stand and chill the relationship between you and Gordon the next time you meet each other on the sidewalk.
The people who annoy me the most are the ones who are inconsistent.
Oh, follow no philosophy, anarchists.
There's this one dude, and he's an older guy, who walks. He just kind of does this mostly. It's like I guess he's kind of running, but he's not really running. He's kind of shuffling and moving at a pace slower than I'm walking.
But he's kind of weird.
Because he's kind of moving
run cadence
right?
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's older. It's like
it's one of them old things.
Great that he's out, and it's like a bazillion degrees and whatever. Sometimes, most of the time actually, he is on the wrong side of the sidewalk.
Oh no. Mm-hmm. They're like, we're not following road rules. We're not walking on the right side.
I lived in Northern California for 4.5 years, and I adjusted my expectations to different cultural groups because people legit were from countries where you do everything on the opposite side.
Right. Okay.
That I get. I'm no judgment. I'm not like the crusty guys who be like, oh, you're in America now. You should
American sidewalk.
I'm like, okay, no. Okay, and maybe every once in a while that guy, that little voice, crawls, crawls out of my lizard brain.
We don't like it, but we got to acknowledge it.
It's oh no, the creature from the limbic system is out. Let's put him back in a box.
Yeah,
right. Because he's ugly.
Put him back in.
He's box. Ugly. He sounds a lot like Archie from All in the Family. so he's
walking on the wrong side of the
he's
sidewalk
sequestered
there.
in a dark box where he belongs. Okay. So anyway, but there's this guy now that I encounter almost every day who I would say 85-90% of the time is on the right side of the side. Well, my right side, his right. Well, I guess. Wait, hold on. It's everybody's right side, but he's on my side.
Okay, yeah. Well, he would be on. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. For him, it's the left side, but on you, it's it's the right side where you are.
Right. Thank you for doing that for me.
No problem.
So if you could just draw a diagram, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
So I was.
You gotta put the donut on a sidewalk now.
At first it annoyed me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It annoyed me, and then I would actually, because I'm a pushover. I would go to the left.
Right.
No, the left. Now maybe I went to the left too early.
Uh-oh.
Maybe because I'm being considerate. Maybe he's like you. He's like, well, I'm going to wait till I'm like 8 paces out, and then I'm going to get over at that point. I don't really know, but it's unpredictable. And so because then you wonder, like, okay, am I going to be the guy? Am I going to play chicken here?
Mm-hmm.
And be the guy who stays on, like, in my lane,
coming
right at this old dude, right? And like, what happened? Like, what's going to happen if we get to the point where like we're going to really run into each other? Like, am I going to have that happen?
There's a whole side of the sidewalk that nobody's on. So it's not like this is inevitable.
No, it's on a path along some like cliff.
Like one of us is going to have to go back.
There's no mirror up with a sign that says hidden driveway or something like that. So like, what's going to happen? Am I going to I'm not going to do that. So like, I'm just going to get over.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm just going to get over. Okay. But then there's a day where he's on the proper side of the sidewalk. And I'm like, I don't even know how to deal with you. So finally, I decided I was going to stay on my side.
Hell or high water. I'm going for it.
And he did get over, but you know what I did? You know what I did?
What?
I did the classic like Jason like wimping out move, which is I started looking at my phone or started looking at the pond. That's what it was.
You notice
there's like around this like pond where there's like all sorts of wildlife. And so I just looking off in the distance like
sorry. I didn't notice you there.
Right. So to him, I don't even know that he's coming.
Right.
But I know he's coming.
You're extremely unaware of your surroundings.
Looking out the corner of my eye, and he got over. And so now what I've noticed, though, is he gets over.
Right. Yeah. He knows what the score is now.
And I don't have to pretend to look away. He just gets over, and we say hi to each other. We've always said hi to. That's the thing. I speak of him as if he's like this mortal enemy, right?
Yeah, you walk by him and go, that's what I thought.
No, we say hi. Like, now he does this thing now during COVID where he has a mask sometimes. He's not always wearing it. He just pops it on before he's going to pass somebody. But he doesn't always have it. Like,
he's the world's most inconsistent walker.
But he's the least of my problems, really.
Oh,
and because I the bigger problem is the 2x2. Actually, that's not true. I don't encounter this much in Florida, but in California, it was very common to encounter like the 3 people across, or even the 4 people across situation. So on a wide enough sidewalk,
you get this a lot in the parks.
Yeah, on a wide enough sidewalk, you can actually pass a 3 people stacked in a row, like no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you get to the 4 people. I mean, like in certain sidewalks, even just 2 people is going to be a problem. Like in Florida here, where they don't really believe in sidewalks in most places, but we're forced to do so. They're pretty narrow.
I mean, most of the time, in a rather begrudging way.
Right, and then what do? I haven't had to deal with it much here, but in California, it got ugly sometimes. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm upset. I have to step into the grass.
Right. Yeah.
Like
and they're completely oblivious.
How is it that the person on the end closest to me is not seeing it as their role,
mm-hmm.
And all I can think is, oh my God, if they were in New York,
Yeah.
they'd be in the street.
Right.
They'd be flat on their back.
They'd be stabbed at this point.
New York's it's a lot gentler than it was in the 80s. You should go visit
not
again.
for those guys, though.
You should go visit again.
You walk down the sidewalk
But
at
it's
8
like-
abreast, and somebody's going to...
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Right? Okay, so there's that. The Florida equivalent of that is the car. Is the
On the
car
sidewalk?
that people park in their driveway because, they can't fit all of their vehicles in their driveway. And so they
Right.
just park across the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only believe that there's like this must run deeper than religion and politics and any other controversial thing that you can bring up. It must start in the womb.
What? The willingness, or at least tolerance of your own inability to park somewhere other than the sidewalk?
The belief that that sidewalk there really belongs to you and doesn't need to be maintained as a pathway.
Mm-hmm.
And because I haven't noticed a regional thing about it. I haven't noticed I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I was describing this to a friend recently, or a couple months ago, and I how livid I was getting about it. And they said, "You should just kick the car." Well, no, that's worse. That's like
my whole objection to this is civility.
That's the thing, right?
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I'm not looking for vengeance, but I got to tell you, when I heard that, I think it every time now. Every time I walk by, I think,
crosses your mind.
And of course, I think of myself well, this is how much better I am than this person.
Ding, gold star for me.
Yeah. So I just want you to realize this is if you ever say, hey, you want to go for a walk, and I say, no.
There's just
not
way
you.
Too much.
It's not
baggage.
you. It just adds it adds to the calculations
So
and
many
everything that I
levels
have
of
to do in my
conflict.
head. And I really just, this is why when I lived in Colorado and I could just go on a hike,
Right.
and you rarely encountered another human being.
One jerk has a Corolla parked across the path. Damn it.
No, there you just get upset about the wildlife. You're like
Some moose
seriously?
across the path.
Why? I was hiking in Colorado Springs once on the Section 16 trail. Did you know that Colorado Springs is reportedly the hottest housing market in America right now?
I did not know that.
Crazy.
A lot of people going to the Air Force Academy.
No, a lot of people are. This is just and it was already a really hot market as it was, but post COVID or during COVID, we're not post COVID. I wish it was post COVID. I think part of the whole COVID thing has led people to realize that they can live anywhere,
Right.
and still do their jobs, which
Remote
is just
working.
such a blessing that people and companies are catching on to that. As you know,
Hey,
I'm
man.
a huge supporter of that. I mean, I myself I'm an example even within my own company as in addition to.
Oh, right. Yeah, me too. I was working
And you
remote
too.
before COVID.
Yeah. But I think that a lot of folks are moving to Colorado because they can. And
Yeah.
It's a great place to live. And Colorado Springs is a fantastic town.
When social distancing or whatever is kind of a goal, man, that's a great place to social distance yourself away from other people.
But it has a downtown. It has a really cool downtown, lots of nice restaurants and bars, and it's a college town too. And it's a good mixture of people of different belief systems and ideology and so forth. But
And
when
they
you
got
want
the
to,
weed.
but when you but when you want to escape into the wilderness, the mountains are right there.
There's
it's like Berkeley.
plenty of options.
It's like Boulder. Boulder is the Berkeley of the Rockies, but it's like Boulder, like it's right up against the foothills to the Rockies. So Colorado Springs, unlike Denver, which you really have to like drive to get to the mountains.
Yeah,
Colorado Springs is right there. You can ride your bike. Or you want to go mountain biking, ride your bike right out of your house and get up. I mean, you have to like be able to pedal uphill, which is a problem for people like me.
I'm not a fan of that.
But other than that, it's right there. So anyway, I was hiking in Colorado Springs on section 16. Fantastic
good section.
Hike. It's a great hike. I used to listen to Lou Mangello's WDW radio podcast. Like
what is that?
Every time I hiked, single. That was like the go-to. I would start with that, and this was like a 2-hour hike I would go on once a week, and so like I would start with that. Sometimes it almost covered it, sometimes it didn't. Right? I would have to switch to Radio Lab or something. But I would. So I started on this hike, and I'm going down this path. This one particular part that's kind of leading into the woods. That's where the big uphill starts, and this dirt path is surrounded by bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And up along the trail, further up, probably the equivalent of a block away, if that far, maybe half a block or so, I see a dog. I'm like, And then, I'm walking closer and walking closer. I'm like, oh, that's like a chow. I've never seen a chow, but I haven't seen a chow in a long time. Like, you don't see chows in it. Like, chows are, I can't tell you the last time I saw a chow, but at that point, this was 2008-ish, I guess, 2009. I saw this, and I am getting closer and thinking, oh, this chow, like, where's the owner? I know it must be off leash or whatever. And I know chows can be kind of unpredictable, so now I'm getting a little nervous. But I continue to move forward. And then I realize it's not a chow.
Uh-oh. What is this chow-like creature?
It's a bear cub.
Oh, damn. Because now you got to wonder, are you bisecting a line right now?
It's a bear cub. And I'm like, I stopped dead in my tracks. Hopefully not dead in my tracks. I'm like, stop in my tracks. And he or she is looking at me, and I'm looking at him or her, and then it takes off. Like, it just like turns around and like goes up into the bushes, like up into the brush. And I'm like, oh no. Like, what do I do now? I don't know. So I just started running. And I don't run.
Away or
no, running. Well, no, I don't want to stop my bike. So
you continue just at a greater pace.
Yeah. And then like kind of, make it, I was like hauling, like up the hill. And then finally I get to this point where I think I'm at a safe distance and I can see because I'm higher now. And I didn't see anything else, but I could see movement in the bush, or the brush, rather. Like, it's not a big, giant bush, but like a whole bunch of brush. But I never saw Mama.
No,
Mama was out there somewhere.
Black bear or brown bear?
It was black bear.
Black bear.
Yeah, so.
I don't know which one's more dangerous, so that was a useless question.
Brown bear. Grizzlies are much more dangerous, yeah. But no grizzlies that far.
I know the white
south.
ones are the polar bears. I know that much.
Yeah, if you see one of those, you're probably either
on that island and lost.
On the North Pole or on Lost. Yeah, exactly.
But on the subject, rewinding a little bit, and that was fantastic that you saw the bear. That was awesome.
It wasn't fantastic at the time.
No, yeah, but like it's one of those things where you look back and go, that was kind of cool now that I know that I'm not going to die. But I feel like we need to address this 25 people abreast walking down the thing because this happens a good bit. You mentioned not seeing it a lot in Florida, and in all honesty, these are probably not Floridians. Not that Floridians are above this, but in the parks, as you and I are wont to be, and this is pre-COVID. This is during crowds. That happened all too often. Is the family walking 8 across all of them looking inward towards the person in the middle who has the map, you know, and they're walking. And since they're all reading the map and not walking, they're walking slowly. Mm-hmm. And then you can't get around them, and it's crowded. And so there's the people that can squeeze through on the free side are going in the opposite direction. And that leads me to an idea that I have had for a number of years. And that is that those of us who sort of take ownership in a weird, unofficial way of the parks, we're the ones that will pick up the trash that isn't even ours because we want the place to look nice for the other people, right? Because we love the place so much that we all get issued a paintball gun. We have to register. We have to take a test or something along those lines. Now, it's not, you're not paintballing other paintballers, so it doesn't need to go like 600 yards or whatever. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a strong paintball gun that causes whelps. But like we would register our own hue of paint, right? An RGB value that is our own. And so when we see people doing these things that are just a pain in the butt for everybody around them in the park, we pop them with the paintball. And one paintball or 15 paintballs of the same color, not enough. But if they see that this same person has been painted by 5, let's say, different people, then they are sort of objectively being jerks. And maybe they get a warning. And then another 5 paintballs, and I'm sorry, you're out of here. I think that would be a very good system.
I'm not going to disagree with you in principle. I mean, I think in execution, it could be problematic. I mean, you might be able to get away with that at the other park, that other park.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, so I think this is similar to what they do in China in parts where you get issued like social demerits for certain things, and you're shamed. It's like there's a public shaming aspect.
Well, I don't need them to be publicly shamed. I just need them to be gone.
You kind of are. I mean, like painting them with a color.
Well, I mean, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be. That's not there for the benefit of the other guests. That's there for the benefit of the don't be a jerk police that are in the parks observing things. So maybe there's a way that you can do it that isn't necessarily viewable by everyone
only
at
they
large.
see it?
Right. So somehow that you have painted this person as being a pain in the butt. And like I said, if you thought they were really a pain in the butt and you whacked them like 15 times, that just counts as 1. Even though you probably worked off a little bit of frustration whacking them a bunch of times. But you get to paint that person 1 time. But if enough people who are registered as sort of unofficial keepers of the park or whatever, kingdom keepers, if you will.
I think that's taken.
Darn it. But and you see 5 different people have painted them or whatever, flagged them, then that these guys are probably, and that's why they get a warning. It's 5 of them. That's a warning. You get 5 more though. Sorry, you're out of here. At least for today. You can come back tomorrow and think about what you did.
I feel like you could actually achieve this. So here's the thing. You could probably achieve this using an app. An RFID. I mean, okay, because Disney knows where you are. If you're wearing,
so a magic band kind of thing.
Magic band, or using the app because of Bluetooth technology and so forth. So many things are now tied to the app. People are in the app all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So if there was a way to be able to identify that person electronically, then you could issue a demerit of sorts, or maybe a little message. But here's the thing.
I was thinking, if they're getting close to that 5, You know how when you're on Small World and they'll like read your band and they'll put like a goodbye, Bob, or whatever. Like as they're going out,
so
says, hey, watch yourself, Bob.
You might want to move over, Bob.
People have been talking, Bob.
Check your app.
We got our eye on you.
Check your app. We got a message for you in there. I think, okay, here, let me help you out.
Okay.
Because my favorite version of your scenario is not the 8 stacked people, but it's like the 3 or 4. Sometimes I've actually seen this twice in the same spot. 4 across in scooters.
Oh boy.
In Epcot World Showcase, like where you don't have a lot. I mean, you stack 4 scooters across, and you've now blockade. It's a blockade. Let's just call it.
That's become an unofficial parade at that point.
It's a blockade, frankly. It's you are standing between me and fish and chips. This is a problem, big problem. All right.
That's for sure.
Now, here's a little exercise for you to do. The next time you encounter something like that.
Okay.
Remind yourself you're in Disney.
True.
You remind yourself you're in Disney. You remind yourself that because you're here now, you get to just be here whenever. And it's unlikely that you have anywhere to be that quickly. Anyway, and frankly, they're gonna one of them's gonna run into the other one, or they're gonna stop and look at the map again together, and you're gonna be able to go around. So the trick is to you slow down yourself, and you say, and you can even be like magnanimous about it. Say like, yeah, look, like this family together here having a good time in Disney, and they don't know clearly they don't come here frequently because they're all looking at a map.
How sweet they're being jerks.
Right? Like, I know. I mean, you think that's the way you survive, dude. That's the way you survive.
It's more fun to get all mad about it, though.
But you're in Disney. It's like if you're getting mad. Look, and I get mad all the time. So I haven't perfected this Zen-like state. But it's the exercise. I don't know if you meditate or not. But I've
thought about it. The concept fascinates me.
So I was
not so much that I've done it yet, but
I was a heavy meditator for a long stretch of time, and I've kind of fallen off the wagon over the past year, and I need to kind of get back at it because it absolutely.
Can you be a heavy meditator?
Yeah,
I thought that kind of it was antithesis to the Zen thing. I thought I meditate the hell out of myself.
I was doing. Okay, I was a regular meditator, and I was very serious about it, and I was very disciplined about my routine. Oh my god. Okay. I was very disciplined about my practice, and and it's kind of and I've fallen out of habit, and I need to get back. I need to get back in the saddle, frankly, because if you stick with it for a long enough period of time, and I mean it doesn't have to be that long, 2-3 weeks for 5-10 minutes. Seriously, like per day, you will change. Like your brain starts to change the way that it processes things. It starts to change for the better the way that you react to situations, because the whole trick of say trick like it's a magic. It kind of is like magic, is to with especially if it's the breathing meditation, you're focused on the breath. It's to recognize when you stop being focused. It's to recognize when your mind drifts elsewhere. That practice of noticing when your mind drifts, and it drifts all the time, is the key to interrupting that lizard brain Archie response when something like this happens. Because that's what you you feel like, oh my god, I'm angry, but I'm in Disney. Check, what's going on? Why? Right. That's the key. So the key is to when you feel yourself getting upset with these people in Disney, and it's easier when you're in Disney than when you're in your neighborhood or at the grocery store or wherever, because it's Disney, then you think, I'm going to gift them, just like I would pick up the trash, I'm going to gift them this experience. Like, I'm not going to, like...
I'm going to gift them
and you're gifting yourself the same thing.
Lack of a foot up their butts.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gifting yourself the same thing if you can overcome it. Now, this all goes out the window if you happen to be with somebody who doesn't practice that.
Right.
Because there is nothing more frustrating than a mindful person hanging out with an...
Nice work, pal.
And you may have to bleep that.
Nah.
Or put a little warning.
We finally got one with an explicit tag.
Yeah, you have the explicit tag. There's nothing worse. Here's your editable version. There's nothing worse than being a meditative person or a mindful person than walking or being someplace with somebody who's a jerk.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, because it's like, you're like, I'm just trying to be mindful. I'm just trying to be nice. and this person you're with is like, right? And so you can't do this. It doesn't work unless you're like the Dalai Lama or something. It doesn't really work unless you're like walking with them. Mm-hmm. Or no, if you're walking with them, it's probably even better. You're the jerk.
Yeah, you're the jerk.
You're walking with them. And I think if you I do believe that is the key. And with the sidewalk etiquette, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to try to be the bigger person here, which, physically not a big problem, but in terms of like being the bigger person from like a conscientiousness standpoint, it's something you have to practice at, right? Like, it just would be nice if every once in a while someone else did the same thing. That's what I'm saying. So I don't see that as being judgy as much as I see it as being hopeful.
It would be nice if you people weren't jerks.
Frustratingly hopeful.
Let me put a positive spin on it.
Oh my goodness. I still have potato chips on my screen. This is a problem. I gotta
See, you're losing your focus. See, you gotta get your focus back on you.
I am
breathing.
Yes.
Start talking about potato chips.
I miss the meditation, and I honestly can't.
Now, is that the Zen meditation that you practiced, or because there's a bunch of different ones, right? There's mindfulness,
transcendental, which is weird.
Yeah, that one I think is one's kind of
It's not as weird and spooky. I mean, some people try to.
It's not Scientology or anything, but
there's people who build like businesses out of this stuff. Like you, like you have
there's
to
money involved.
Go to right, and then you go to the guru, and the guru gives you a word, and the word only belongs to you, and all the stuff, and you can't share it with anybody. Okay, now it's very like Masonic temple secrecy kind of secret society thing, right?
I wonder what kind of words. Is it like a made-up word like fuflaba, or is it like word like penguin? And then you're like, really? That's what?
No,
that's what I paid this money for.
I think they're typically like based in Sanskrit or something, or something like that. So they sound kind of like official, but maybe they are still pulling from like the same 10
words. Well, it may be penguin in Sanskrit. That's my point. Is that it's kind of like you see the guy walking around with the kanji tattoo, and you're like, you do understand that means artichoke, right? I mean. Like, I know it's kind of neat looking, but that doesn't mean what you think it means. Well, I don't know what you think it means, but I'm pretty sure you don't realize that it does mean, scrambled eggs or whatever. I don't know why that's always a food for. Well, because you'd see them on the menu, right? Because I don't know what Japanese restaurant they're eating at that has scrambled eggs.
No. Yeah.
I'm having a little conversation with myself over here.
Sushi with the egg. What's that called? The sushi that has the little egg on it. What is that called?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that I've had a sushi with an egg on it.
Yeah, Yes.
Sushi. I don't know that that's.
Do you like
I haven't
sushi?
had a sushi with an egg on
Tamago.
it. Tamago.
Isn't that what it's called? Hold on. Yeah, tamago egg is classic Japanese folded omelet, sometimes called tamago yaki. The omelet is sweet, has a light texture, and works well when served over sushi rice with soy and wasabi sauce. Yada, yada, yada. Tamago is the Japanese word for egg.
Yeah, my vocabulary is terrible.
Okay, Mr. Japan.
Well, it is, man. It's like, well, I studied Japanese in college.
Yeah, just that in and of itself.
日本語はとても難しいですね. But yeah, I don't remember any words in Japanese anymore. I remember breakfast is asa gohan, which means like morning rice. Gohan is rice.
You know how I would remember that though, asa gohan?
What?
Like somebody's making breakfast and I want it in my hand, so I go asa gohan. Also go in this hand. It also goes in this hand. See,
it also goes in this hand. Well,
dude,
hey,
that's how
if it works, if it helps you remember, I guess.
I'll get to it. I'm just saying, like my mind, I'll get to it faster with that than I will thinking like, okay, wait, what's the word for breakfast? And I'm much better remembering.
And lunch
like,
and dinner are both something gohan, and I don't remember what they are.
I'm much better at remembering the sounds of a phrase than I am each individual word and trying to put it together. I don't learn language well like that. I learn it much better as a spoken language, and then I'll remember like what to say. Like I had friends who I was gonna say were Greek. They're still Greek. I just don't see them anymore. When I was a kid,
the Greekness has faded from.
And there's like lived in this. Yeah, it fades with time. They lived in this area in Baltimore. It's kind of like Greek town, and I learned like little phrases and stuff. I learned some cuss words too, but I learned like how to say good morning, which is kalimera, and good night, which is kalinikta, and come here, which is kalimera. Not kalimera. Elador is come here. I said kalimera is good morning, so saying that would not mean like good morning and come here. Elador's come here. Katikato is sit down. Tikane says how are you. Kala is good. Like I remember like these conversational phrases or things that adults say to kids, like sit down.
Right. That's what
Shut
you
up
heard.
and sit down. I remember that.
I know how to count to 5, but that's only because of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
In Greek or Japanese?
In Greek.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like count to 10, and he goes 1, 2, 3. No, in Greek, he goes ina, theo, thea, tessida, pente. But it didn't get past. I mean, if he does get past 5, you can't really hear it. So I didn't learn those.
Yeah, that's funny. Why did we talk about the egg thing? I don't know.
Oh, who knows? Because of people walking abreast on the sidewalk.
Oh, the Zen thing. Sanskrit. Okay.
What word?
Here we go.
What word?
Artichoke. All right. So,
for the record, I don't know what artichoke is in Japanese either.
You have transcendental meditation, which I don't really know much about, and I'm not. It's basically the same thing, except you're like focusing on a mantra.
But yeah, I was about to say it's mantra based, right? And all that.
Yeah, whatever.
Or the thing where you run the looks like a mortar and pestle, but you're running the pestle around the mortar.
I don't think that's what they do.
Which one is which? Is the stick a pestle? The stick's the pestle, right? I think that's right. But you know what I'm talking about? It's like a bowl.
Can you have one without the other? I mean, it's just mortar and pestle. It's like Abbott and Costello.
They are both.
You never saw Abbott on tour by himself.
That's right. Abbott does not exist. It's Abbott and Costello. He is one Abbott and Costello, and the other one is the other one.
I'm trying to I really don't believe that I can describe the different.
Well, there's the guided meditations too, right?
I see. Okay, so it's Zazen is what it's actually called. Zen is like shortened, I guess.
A cool way of saying
it. Right, and the idea is like, and it is kind of like mindfulness. It's like the idea of like sitting, letting ideas come, and then like letting them go, kind of thing. So it's different than, That's different than the sort of focusing on the breath thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do know, I can tell you what I did.
Apparently a heavy one of these guys.
What I did, well, a heavy, because I eat a lot. But I would sit, like I would do the whole, relax, focus on my breath, and as concepts, ideas, words, feelings, whatever come, then you try to just let them pass, right, and go back to the breath. And the breath,
right. Like if you feel yourself drifting from the breath, you're like, ooh, let's get back to the breath.
Twice. 2 times in many years, I had this experience where nothing was happening. No thoughts, no
You
feelings,
had
no
achieved total mental stillness.
It was
or something.
Still water, yeah, and the moment I recognized it, it was broken.
It was over.
The moment I enjoyed it.
Right.
But that feeling, I can't describe it. The feeling of kind of being in that space where you're like, whoa. This is amazing. That
Dolly
I know.
Zoom happened.
That's what people come back for. That's what some of these this. I know it's got to be what they're chasing. It's like chasing a high or something. It's like a, it's
I don't know that's compatible.
No,
with the Zen thing.
Dude, I'm telling you that it's got to be it. It's got to be it. The closest I came to it again was when I did one of those float things.
Oh, like a sensory deprivation thing?
Yeah.
Where you're in the chamber and you're floating?
Yeah.
Those scare me.
I've
never done one.
I was really freaked out. I've done it twice, and I was really freaked out about it the first time.
Yeah, I bet.
And because I was afraid of all those things.
Yeah. Suddenly it's just me and my brain. No distractions. What's going to happen?
Right. I mean, you could have music going or something, but that defeats the purpose at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're in there for 45 minutes.
Oh, wow. I bet you totally lose your time sense in there too, don't you?
It is like time travel.
Yeah.
And you don't fall. Some people I think fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to drown.
It would be too weird for me to fall asleep.
Yeah, that's all I was. I was just too. Yeah, but it's really interesting.
Because the water's pretty heavy salinated, right? So that you float a little higher than you would.
Dead Sea level salination. Yeah, you're not. That's what I'm saying. You could fall asleep. You're not sinking.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. I won't fully describe the entire experience here, but it's.
Did they have to clean the chamber when you left?
No. Maybe. I don't know, but not because I did anything. Not because I did anything weird. Or had a weird. Anyway. Oh my goodness. I don't know how you're gonna ever.
Insert step of the production process here. I don't know how you're gonna do any of them.
I don't know. I don't know that any of this is worth anything. We should just start over.
Episode 1.
No,
Sorry.